July 19, 2019, and I am interviewing Steve Smith at Newkirk Public Library. Question number 1. What motivated you to join the military?
Well, I don't know. Anyway, my brother came back. He joined the Navy. Listen to me. He joined the Navy, and he went into the Navy, and he says, it's a good deal. It is a good deal. And so I was 21 years old. You're gonna get your. Oh my Lord. She got her cane. Anyway, he said, join the Navy. I was 21 years old. I graduated out of high school in 1956. That was a long time ago, just before they were born. What year were you born in?
47.
47, okay. And I graduated in 56 and Newkirk High School. What's that? Newkirk High School, and I was 21 years old when I joined the Navy. 21 years old, and come on in. You got to be quiet. And I joined the Navy and went to San Diego.
Tell me a little bit about your time in basic training.
It was tough. It was tough.
What was your primary...
No, I'm not through. It was tough. And I couldn't smoke. And I started smoking when I was 15 years old. And I've quit now because I got COPD, but it was pretty tough. We had a chief petty officer that was our commanding officer, and he was pretty good. He was a good man, as I found out later. Okay? All right.
What was your primary job after training? MOS.
After training, what's MOS mean?
That's your title on what you did.
Okay. Okay, I got out of the boot camp, and I went to Naval Air Station, Olathe, Kansas. Olathe, Kansas, for Air Traffic Control School. And I had to go to mess cook for about 4 or 5 weeks. That's normally what you do. And I had to take an exam to get into that school. I didn't qualify to be in that school. So I took an exam, and I passed it, and I got into the air traffic control school. And then I helped 4 guys graduate. And that's what I did, right? That's what you... Okay, and then I'll continue on.
Where were you deployed and sent out of the country to serve? If so, where and for what?
Well, I graduated out of the school at Olathe, Kansas, and I got stationed at Naval Air Station, Alameda, California. And it's not there anymore. Naval Air Station is not there anymore. And but I was stationed there, and I worked in a control tower. And one of these pictures here, and this was me right there, control tower. And anyway, I thought that my enlistment would be over 4 years when I got stationed at Alameda, and I was wrong. I got stationed at Pacific Missile Range Facility. Pacific Missile Range Facility, Kwajalein, in the Marshall Islands. I'll say that again. Pacific Missile Range Facility, Kwajalein, in the Marshall Islands. And we tested Nike Zeus missiles. Nike Zeus missiles. They were shot off of Vandenberg Air Force Base, and we'd shoot them down. And I thought that at that time, I worked in the control tower, and wasn't able to take my wife over there. I got married in the Navy, and because I was third class, had to be a second class petty officer, bring my wife, and they had rooms over there and stuff, they had apartments and stuff. But anyway, when I got over there, about 6 months. I had to be over a year. Anyway, about 6 months went by, and had a polio epidemic. Back in the years when we had to take a shot, and I had to take a shot, and I gave up my card, my shot card, and they thought they would give it back to me at a later date. It's 3 or 4 days later, and for the shot, I got a gun in my arm. I don't know if you ever seen a gun or not. Shot with a gun. But anyway, the next day, I got word that my wife's dad had passed away, and there was a plane right there heading back to Hawaii, in Travis Air Force Base, California, and so I jumped on it. And make a long story short, we buried him, and I got Travis Air Force Base, went back, and they asked me for my shot card, and I didn't have it. So, a young man, he was terrible. Anyway, I got to have 6 shots, and he would stick a needle in 3 fingers in my arm, and then he stick another 3 fingers, needle in 3 fingers, and in this arm, 6 shots. And I got on the airplane and I passed out. But anyway, I got back, and at that time, I had 4 years in. And I thought, I don't have a chance to get a job. I have my wife and 2 kids, and Lori, my daughter, once I got back home, she didn't even know me. She was 6 months old, and now she's lived back across the street. But anyway, I extended my enlistment for another 4 years, and got stationed at Naval Air Station, Dallas, Texas.
The front door.
Oh, Dallas, Texas, and thought that I would complete my enlistment there. I worked in a control tower, and I was wrong again. And sent me to. They had closed the school down at Olathe, Kansas. And I went to school then at Naval Air Station, Brunswick, Georgia. Had to travel out there. They paid me for the travel, and went to GCA school. The other one was Air Traffic Control School. This is GCA, Ground Control Approach School. And I had orders for the USS Hancock, which is this boat right there. And about halfway through the school, had an officer come up to me and say, "You're going to go to carrier?" I said, "Yeah. You got to go to the carrier control approach school." So anyway, I had to complete the ground control approach school, which was GCA school, and then you go to get off a week. Everything changes. Carrier control approach school, and I went on that one, and about 8 weeks, and got stationed then at Naval Air Station, Alameda, California. Get aboard the USS Hancock, and that was across the whole United States. They paid me from Dallas, Texas to Brunswick, Georgia, all the way across the United States to Alameda. Now they don't do that anymore. The military don't do that anymore. It's too much money, I guess. But anyway, they paid me pretty good, and to get aboard the USS Hancock, and that was a tough deal. Tough situation. We were stationed out about 100 miles out from the shore line, and we worked 12 hours on and 12 hours off. and I don't know if you've seen these pictures here, but the USS Hancock, and this picture, or this right there, USS Hancock pulled back into San Francisco, and then I got out of the Navy. I was going to go ahead and stay in, and my wife didn't go for it. And so I'd been stationed at Naval Air Station, Brunswick, Seattle, Washington. It's in Seattle, Washington, and we're going to the GCA part of it, ground control approach. She didn't go for that, so I got out of the Navy after 8 years.
What was the most demanding part about your deployment?
Demanding part? You ever been aboard a carrier?
No.
It's tough. We had it was hot. Brunswick, Pacific Missile Range facility, we was 15 degrees from the equator. 15 degrees from the equator. And the uniform of the day was a t-shirt, shorts, and thongs. And that was it. Because it's so hot. And you walk across the grounds to go to the cafeteria, and you'd be dripping wet with sweat. And but anyway, aboard the carrier, and had many friends. Well, they weren't close friends, but in the carrier control approach school, we met a lot of the pilots. And one had a southern accent. And I always remembered him. And one day, whenever they were flying up over Vietnam, we were getting ready to come home. We were getting ready to go on Liberty or something. The next day we were going to go on Liberty, I think. And we were dropping the bombs very close to the ground. And the CAG-1, that's Carrier Air Group, that's commanding officer, Carrier Air Group, CAG-1 said, "You guys get down there and bomb that stuff. Bomb it." And he went down and never heard from him again. Got killed. So it was just tough.
Where did you serve the majority of your time in service?
Where?
Where did you serve the majority of of time in service?
Well, I just got kind of divided up. Shore duty and overseas duty and carrier duty. So it just kind of divided up.
What rank are you most proud to have earned, and why?
Second class. That's when I got out of the Navy. Because then I could take my wife wherever we were stationed. And so that's second class petty officer.
Which medals of citations are you most honored to have received, and why?
Well, why? What do you mean why? I was a good sailor. Good conduct. Had good conduct most all the time.
Tell me about some of the special people you met.
I met a man in Naval Air Station, Dallas, Texas. I worked at a TANG club, Texas Air National Guard Club, and that was on the base there. And we served liquor and all kinds of stuff. And I met, what's his name? Well, I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, I met him, and real good close friends with him. And what was his name?
Give us some clues.
Well, he was a fat man.
Is he well known?
He was in the Navy. Gosh almighty. Anyway, that's who I met, and we were real good friends with him, and he's passed away since then.
What was the best and worst military food you were served, and why?
Food?
Yes.
Oh, I love the food. There wasn't nothing served that I didn't like. Because that was just the way I was raised. My mother would set me down and feed me, and said, if you don't like it, she would say, I won't tell you what she said. But you just like the food, and so I grew up that way. And so finally, when I got in the Navy, every dish they served me, I loved it. So it was all good food. It's just like getting Meals on Wheels today. I love the food.
Tell me a funny story you experienced that could only happen in the military.
Well, there's a lot of funny stuff. I'm trying to think of that man's name. Gosh almighty. I talked about it all the time, and now I have a hard time with names. Now, I don't know your name. Or your name. Now I know her name, because she's threatened me a lot.
Tell a funny story. Tell a funny story.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anything happened that was that funny.
How did your military experience affect your life today?
Well, it got me. I was in the military, and I got out of the military, and I haven't suffered a bad day yet, except for her. Now, just joking. Because I love I'm 81 years old. And I don't act like it. I don't feel like it. And my wife died a year ago, and it kind of got me, looking bad, but I've straightened that up. So.
Well, that was the last question. Thank you for coming and thank you for your service.
Okay. Now you come around here and take your picture.